Hi, I am Rajendra Kulkarni. Welcome to my channel Programming in C with RSK. In this video, we will be discussing basics of a PC and programming language. C language was developed in Bell Labs in 1972 by Dennis Ritchie. Even after passing 50 years, the language is still in use and is one of the favorites of the software developers. There are a few variants of C, such as ANSI C, Turbo C, etc. We will be learning Turbo C. All the programs that we will be discussing in this video and also in all other videos which I will be uploading, these programs are developed using Turbo C3 IDE. A basic knowledge of a PC, how a program gets executed, help us in understanding the programming well. So our endeavor is to first know the basics of a PC, know the basics of programs execution, and then only we will go ahead with actual learning of C programming in our next videos. IBM PC Basics, it's a architecture which was developed in 70s, and it was developed around a microprocessor called 8086. It contains a CPU 8086, memory, semiconductor memory, input-output ports. Input-output ports are also of semiconductors chips. There is a bus called address bus, which is 16-bit. A bus is a bunch of 16 thin wires connecting CPU address pins to memory address pins and input-output ports address pins. Then there is another bus that is again a data bus of 16-bit. There is a control bus through which control signal flows from CPU to hardware and from hardware back to CPU. Memory is connected to control bus, memory is connected to data bus, and it is also connected to address bus. Similarly, I/O ports, they are connected to address, data and control bus as shown in the figure. Console and monitor are also connected to I/O ports. What is a microprocessor? It is a programmable semiconductor device which reads the binary code present in the memory. It executes the instruction available in the memory in the form of binary code. A microprocessor can only read instructions from memory. So all the instructions which we want microprocessor to execute are to be present in the memory. A microprocessor reads one instruction at a time, executes it, places the result in memory, and then reads next instruction from memory. So the microprocessor is continuously connecting to memory, getting its instructions from the memory, executing those instructions, and putting the result back into the memory. This one cycle of a instruction is repeated till all the instructions of the program are executed. This operation of reading, executing, writing is a sequential operation, and it proceeds till all the instructions are executed. Program execution, how it takes place. Memory serves as a place to store instructions, the information that direct the activities of a CPU. Memory is also a place where data is stored. Any PC or any microprocessor, it processes the data and then gives us the result. Both data and instructions are in the form of binary codes, because the whole PC system, microprocessor system only understands binary. A group of logically related instructions stored in the memory is called a program. It's important that all the instructions should be logically related to each other. Then only we will get our desired results. A CPU reads the instruction from memory in a logically determined sequence. Who decides the sequence? It is the programmer who writes the program who decides the sequence in which the program should proceed. Each instruction is decoded, and as per the instruction, appropriate processing action is initiated by the CPU. Reading from the memory is actually copying the data or instruction present in the memory back to the CPU. It's a copy instruction. Copy from memory to CPU. When the instruction is executed, it gives out some certain kind of result. This result is always available within the CPU in CPU's registers. Registers are internal memories built into a CPU. When the result of execution is available and ready in the registers, internal registers, those results are written back to the memory. Writing means copying the result present in the CPU registers back to the memory. How memory is organized? Memory is a stack. We can conceptually look at it as a stack of 1 byte memory cells having unique addresses. Each memory cell has its address, which is unique to it. In this diagram, we are just conceptualizing the memory. It is not exactly like this because it is in a semiconductor chip. Each location has a unique address. Memory location is accessed by CPU for reading or writing through its address. Who decides the address? The architecture of the hardware of the PC sets a unique address for each memory location. Each memory location is of 8 bits, which is 1 byte. CPU can rapidly access any data stored in the memory. Actually, the speed of execution of each instruction by the CPU is very high. It is in microseconds. So even if CPU takes one instruction at a time and put the result back into the memory, the time taken for such a cycle is in the milliseconds or microseconds. So naturally, in 1 second, a PC can execute millions of instructions, and that is why our programs work fast and very fast. However, when we say that all the programs and its data, all the instructions must be present in the memory, then there are thousands of programs which are used by the user. All these programs cannot reside in the memory. Memory size is always limited. Another problem with the semiconductor memories is it's a volatile memory. That means when PC is powered off, all the data stored in the memory, including instructions and programs and whatever it may have, all that is lost. It is lost and cannot be retrieved. Naturally, all the programs cannot reside on the memory. There must be some other way so that we can use one program at a time out of the hundreds that we are having on our PC. How to resolve that problem? Input-output ports are provided to all the PCs which interface hard disk and other hardware with CPU. All the programs which are inactive, which are not being used at the moment, are on the hard disk. When a program is required to be used, it is first loaded into memory from the disk. How the CPU reads the data from the hard disk or other hardware devices, each input port and also the output port has its own unique addresses, as we have addresses for memory locations. A CPU can access these input ports, can read data present there and bring it back into the memory, act upon it, and then results are again stored back into the memory. So when the program is loaded, the program stays in the memory till it is unloaded. As the program, all its instructions and data is available in the memory at the time of its execution, it enables the computer to receive information from storage devices such as which are connected to I/O ports. The computer also requires one or more output ports. Through output ports, CPU communicates the results of its processing to the outside world. The output may go to a monitor or to a printer or to some other peripheral device such as hard disk, floppy disk, and so on. Like input ports, output ports are also addressable. As we have discussed, we need a integrated development environment called IDE for developing our programs. DOS is the operating system for which C was developed first, and still it is being used as a language to program a computer which is based on DOS. Although nobody uses DOS nowadays, but it is always present as a part of existing Windows operating system, and that part of DOS within the Windows interacts with our C programs, or our C programs interact with those DOS operating system software present in the computer as a part of total Windows or Linux operating system. Unless we have an IDE, it is very difficult for beginners to develop programs and convert it into digital form compatible with the PC. There are ways to do it, but as beginners and even also as a well experienced programmers, we will always prefer to use IDE, some kind of IDE for developing our programs. The care that should be taken while downloading the IDE is it should be compatible with the operating system such as Windows or Linux, whichever is present on our PC. Windows, Linux are very advanced operating systems, but all the operating systems up till now are made backward compatible with DOS, and that is why a program written for DOS is executed on these PCs with Windows or other operating systems. There are few IDEs available on internet which can be downloaded and installed on the PC for developing C programs. What is IDE? Integrated Development Environment. It consists of software for Notepad, compiler and linker. All these three are integrated to ease the program development. The main focus for which the IDE is developed is to enable users to develop their C programs using this software. We write our programs in Notepad. Compiler converts our program written in Notepad into binary code. Linker links pre-compiled code for the tasks such as outputting data to monitor, inputting data from keyword, and many more functions that are made available to our program using the pre-compiled files. The code thus compiled and linked becomes our binary code for our application which we have developed using Notepad. Pictorially, we can see C compiler as a program written in English like language in Notepad. Then it goes to, when we compile the program, this written language code or written language Notepad, whatever we have written instructions, they go to compiler and linker together. These two softwares convert our text written as a program converted into binary code, and then it goes into the memory. Let us go with our first C program, a small program. Every C program will start with hash include stdio.h as the first statement. The stdio.h is a file. Its name should appear within the quotes. Include should come along with hash. The hash include is necessary. Then these two quotes are necessary. Within these two quotes, stdio.h or any other file that is .h file, that name should appear. Then comes a statement void main. Then a opening brace. Then this program statement printf hello world. Then a closing brace, and the program ends at the closing brace. What this program does is it simply outputs hello world onto the monitor. .h stands for header file. stdio.h contains info on printf function. Name of the file to be included must be in the quotes. Every C program starts with a main. Opening brace is the entry point for a program. Printf function displays on monitor the text appearing within the quotes. Whatever is written within the quotes, that will appear as it is on the monitor. Note a semicolon here. Every C statement is terminated with a with a semicolon. It is just like a full stop which we use in our natural English or Marathi or Hindi language. This program will output hello world. How to create a program using IDE. On TurboC app, click on its icon. This will open a view on your screen with options such as file, compile, run, etc. Open the file. In the drop down menu, you will get many options. Use new. It will open a blank page for typing our program. We start typing our program on that page. When the typing is done, click on the file tab again. Select save from the drop down menu. Type the name of your file. The file will get saved with extension .c or .cpp. Then compile the written program by clicking on the compile tab. When we compile the program, we may get error messages. It is normal to get error messages for the beginners. It is normal to get error messages even for the experienced programmers. These error messages prompt you the correction of code at a particular line number. Make that correction, save file, and then click on run. The program output will appear on output screen, which can be viewed by pressing the key Alt plus F5. We have just seen very few basics. My next video will be on constants, variables and keywords. Actually, that will be the start of actual programming in C. Please watch for my many more videos that I will be uploading that will cover all the features and aspects of C. The videos will contain if-else statements, switch, loops, pointers, functions, arrays, strings, structures, files, graphics and many more on this channel. So please continue watching. I will be uploading a video at least on every alternate day. and which will cover these topics I have listed and which are not listed but will be there in the video. Thank you for watching.